Hello, today is day 6 of STAAR review, and today we're talking about equations. This section will have about 4 questions on the STAAR test. 2 of those questions will for sure be modeling and solving equations. And then you might have a question over writing equations or writing inequalities. So before we get into reviewing equations, I want to show you what you have as resources in your STAAR review folder. So we have our study sheet, but on the back of the study sheet, this first section right here, this is how to solve multi-step equations and inequalities. So that's there for you. But also, and probably in my opinion, the most important resource you have is on your calculator notes, our calculator steps page. At the very bottom, we have solving equations with the calculator. In this video, I'm going to do an example or two where I'm using the calculator to solve equations. But if you're looking for the steps, they are right here on this page for you. All right, so on the back of this page, they have a solving equations example. So they show you how to solve it by hand, where we rewrite coefficients as fractions to make it easier, and they go step by step. I would like to show you how to solve equations in our calculator, and I'm going to use this equation right here to do it. So I'm going to rewrite it up at the top so it's easier for y'all to see. We have x over 6 plus 4 equals x over 18 plus 3. So all I did was I copied this equation up here so there wouldn't be arrows on it. And I'm going to show you how to plug it into your calculator. So on our calculator, you turn it on. We're going to add a new document. So we're going to click number 1. If it asks us if we want to save, we click no. And then to solve equations, we're just going to add a calculator. So we're going to click number 1. So now here are the steps, the buttons we have to press in order to type in this equation into our calculator. So we're going to hit menu. We're going to click number 3 for algebra. And then we're going to click number 1 for numerical solve. So then this pops up on our calculator. It says solve. And now inside those parentheses that they already created, I can type in my equation exactly how it looks. So I have a fraction. The top is an x, or the numerator is an x. You're going to use the letters that are at the bottom of your calculator, those black buttons. So I have x over 6 plus 4 equals, then I have x over 18 plus 3. So I typed in my equation. It matches what I have written down. It matches the equation exactly. Now I need to tell my calculator, what do I want it to solve for? Well, the letter or the variable that I used in my equation was x, so I want my calculator to solve for x. So I had to do comma, which is at the bottom next to the letter O, and then I tell my calculator what letter they're solving for. They are solving for x. And then I hit enter. So the answer is -9. Now, some things you need to know. You can only use solve or the calculator to solve equations when there's an equal sign. There has to be an equal sign or it will not work. Also, they could use any number they want or any variable that they want. They do not have to use x. Let's say they're using a different letter. So let's do another example. Let's say I have 3n plus 2 equals 6n minus 5. I just made that up on the spot. So I can plug that into my calculator and solve for n. So I'm going to do the same steps again to set it up. I'm going to do menu, 3 for algebra, 1 for numerical solve. I'm going to type in my letters. So I have 3n plus 2 equals 6n minus 5, comma, and now I'm going to press n because that's the letter that I typed into my equation, and then I'm going to hit enter. and then it solves it for me. So remember, whatever letter you use in the equation, you gotta do comma, that letter at the end to solve. Okay. The other section that's on here is writing and solving equations. So I just want to review how we write equations, especially whenever we are comparing two things. So previously we talked about y equals mx plus b, right? My m, that was my slope. They use the keywords per, each, and every. And my b, that was my y-intercept. That's like my start value, my one-time fee. Right? So that's what we know whenever we only have one situation going on, or we're talking about one linear relationship. So, for example, here, they're talking about two groups of friends. So two different things that are happening. They're comparing those two things. So it's still going to look like y equals mx plus b, but now I have two situations that we're talking about. So I have situation 1 and I have situation 2, right? So this number that's right here that's next to the x, or whatever letter that they're using, that's still going to be the number that has the keywords per, each, and every next to it. So let's look here. Two groups of friends went to the movies on the same day. Group 1 bought 6 tickets and spent $28.50 at the concession stand. Group 2 bought 8 tickets and spent $10 at the concession stand. Both groups spent the same total amount of money. So the same, that means it's equal. The price of each ticket. So this one was a little bit confusing because they said the each at a different spot, but the each is telling me they're talking about the number of tickets. So for group 1, they bought 6 tickets. So 6 ticket cost the same. Each ticket cost the same amount. So that's why the 6 is going next to the x. And they paid a one-time fee of $28.50 at the concession stand. So that's my B. For group 2, they bought 8 tickets. So it's going to be 8 times the number of tickets, or times the cost of tickets. And they spent a one-time fee of $10 at the concession stand. So that's how they wrote that equation. And then we can plug that into our calculator and solve it. So if I were to plug that into my calculator, I would do menu, 3 for algebra, 1 for numerical solve, and then I would type this in. So I have 6x plus 28.5 equals 8x plus 10. I want my calculator to solve for x, so I'm going to do comma x, and then I'm going to hit enter. So that means each ticket costs $9.25. You will now complete your Google form for your assignment.